But yeah, that is not even that shady from all the jobs. The shadiest job I've had, I'd say, is when I worked as a dominatrix in New York. I know, I'm like, yeah, I know, you're like, Ms. Rotondi, you're a professor. I know, I just like getting my toes sucked. And I've always, I've always been, yeah, right? I've always been open-minded, and I've always been broke. So just add Craigslist to that equation and the world is your oyster, Or Reddit. Reddit's pretty crazy these days. Craigslist still exists, but not as many dominatrix jobs on there anymore. But yeah, it's a crazy world being a dominatrix. The first time I went in for the interview, they looked at my, I think I even brought a resume because I was so naive. I'm like, I have a resume. They're like, you're not obese and you're into this? Okay, you get the job. The training they gave me told me to come up with a sexy name and a sexy intro. And they said I had 5 minutes because a client was coming and they wanted all the girls there to introduce themselves for the meet and greet. And they hand me a pair of 5-inch heels that I've never worn heels before. And I'm like trying not to fall down, coming up with my sexy name and intro. And I walk in and I'm like, hi, I'm Mistress Katie Payne. I was trying to be scary and sexy, And you're gonna have to pay for your punitive damages, motherfucker. I was trying to think of what dominatrix should say, but all I could think about were those personal injury lawyer commercials. There's so many at night. And he just looked at me really confused. And I said, for a dominatrix who says titillating weird things and can play really sexy dead bodies, just call 1-800-ROTONDI. That's me. I didn't get the gig, but he is a director and he asked me to be in his film. So that was awesome, you guys. I mean, it was a dead body, but it was still it was a great connection. It was a fabulous job. I will leave you guys with this, and then I'm very excitedly going to get your questions and answer them. I promise I'm so much better at helping people with their lives as opposed to mine. I promise. That's one thing that a lot of psychics are very good at. Most psychics are a total shit show. But we get a lot of information. It's hard not to be a shit show. It's like you're in 3 dimensions at once and worried about what 100 people are doing with their lives. It's like, how do I just basically get a normal job? But yeah, I'll leave you guys with this, one of my favorite stories from recent times, now that we're all out and about, and I sometimes can be shady, as you can tell. I'm mostly retired from the dominatrix stuff, but I can sometimes still be shady. I had a physical recently, and my doctor's assistant, Lydia, called me afterwards, and she's like, is this Jessica Rotondi? I'm like, yeah. She's like, your blood test shows that you might have a fatal disease, but we don't tell you who's on the phone. See you on Friday. I'm like, okay. Yeah, they don't tell you who's on the phone. It might be like a HIPAA thing or something. My doctor's not much better. When I got there, he was just looking at my chart, kind of with a smug look on his face. He's like, oh, we think you have syphilis. I don't know why he was laughing about it, but it's like, we think you have syphilis, but we're going to give you a second test to make sure, or we're pretty sure you have syphilis. I didn't know how to feel. I know you're going to be shocked, but I've never had syphilis before, so I didn't know how to feel about it. I had to take a second test, and I had to wait a few days. And after thinking about it for a day or two, I kind of felt sexy. Like, what woman who has it together, let's pretend, is getting syphilis these days, besides like a porn star, right? But then the second test came back negative, and I just felt like I had a really bad doctor who also was really fucking weird. But I think tonight, since I'm out and I'm wearing glitter with sequins, I'm going to try for chlamydia, because that was such a good ego boost, and that's curable. So if any of you guys know anyone with chlamydia, please slip into my DMs, and I would love to meet them.